Joehoul here with all the scavenging locations located in the Wailing Wind region of Pinkeye's territory. That map there is just an overview of the area with all the scavenging locations present. We'll be starting here in the northwest corner. This one's located just up on top of these shipping containers. If you climb up the ladder, you'll find the piece of scrap right behind the car there. Then you can drop back down, and the next piece is actually inside this little maze. Right beside a guy you have to kill. Or two. That's it for that location. Next we're heading slightly southeast. We got 3 pieces of scrap and a project part here. First one's just on your right as you come to the initial camp down at the bottom here. Second piece of scrap is following the right hand wall. And then the project part is on the other side. That's for the water storage. Now the final piece of scrap is actually right up at the top of this hill. So to follow this path, you'll find a lockbox. You can pop open that lockbox. You'll find your final piece of scrap inside. Heading northeast, we'll get to another scavenging location with 2 pieces of scrap at it. First one's right inside the leftmost tent. The second one's on the outside to the right of the car up on blocks. Heading east from there, we'll go to an area that just has 1 piece of scrap at it. It's just a little tent in the middle of the desert, and a piece of scrap sitting right underneath it. Now we're moving southeast to a junction in the road. Enough to fight a few guys here, but you'll find your first piece of scrap right outside of that open shipping container. Second piece of scrap is right attached to the right hand side of it. And the history relic is in the shipping container just to the right of that. Now the final piece of scrap is up top inside of a shipping container that's sealed. You'll have to use your grappling hook to get at it. I did a little bit of a wild goose chase here trying to find the final piece of scrap. You can get at it right up from this bus here. The first thing you need to do is rip that door off. And there it is, the third piece of scrap just stuck inside this lockbox.
Saint, I'm gonna fix.
This next one's at a little camp atop a hill. You'll find the history relic right on the right hand side as soon as you enter. The next piece will be on the opposite side. If you just keep following the right wall, you'll come upon it. And the third piece is inside of the school bus that's directly below the Vantage Outpost balloon. That's the second piece of scrap. Now we're heading a bit southeast of there to this old bombed out building where you'll just immediately go in the basement, fight a few of these little guys, eat some maggots if you're hungry, and you'll find your first piece of scrap right on the floor beside the maggots. Then if you just head around the corner and back past the stairs you came down, you'll find your second piece of scrap just below them. Heading even further southeast, we're now at the bottom corner of this area now. You'll find this old, well, I guess it looks like a granary on its side. As soon as you come into it, you'll find a piece of scrap on the ground beside a really sick wastelander. And then behind him is a history relic. And then right around to your left outside is the last piece of scrap. And that's that location. If you head a bit west of there, you'll find another scavenging location with about 3 pieces of scrap at her. You'll want to immediately head downstairs. You'll find your first piece of scrap at the bottom of the stairs you come in through. Then there's some in this lockbox in the next room. And then you can proceed into the next hallway. And if you just keep following it, you'll come upon your next piece of scrap right below the stairs at the opposite end. Heading a bit northwest of there. We're looking for 2 pieces of scrap at this location. First one's right across from the car they got parked out front. And the next one's in the leftmost tent. Heading even further northwest, we're coming up to a place with 3 pieces of scrap and a project part. Find your first piece right over here on the right in a lockbox if you enter from the right hand side of the building. There is another piece directly behind me, but I didn't find it until the very last. I'll show you where it is, but you can probably find it really quick there if you just turn around. The next piece is up on the 2nd floor if you keep following the stairs upwards. And if you keep on moving up to the very top floor, you'll find the project part. I forget what this one's for. Scrap crew. And now I'll take you back down. Show you where that final piece of scrap is. So just out the door I came in, there's a piece of scrap in that little corner. Heading slightly north, we're in the very center of the map now. Come to this shanty town, has a few guys in it you have to fight, and the scrap's right out in the open. First one's in the right corner as you enter. Second one's in the left corner. Heading even further north, coming to a place with a history relic and 2 pieces of scrap in it. You're looking for a bombed out building with paint on it, and if you head to the left hand side after going through the front door, you'll find all 3 collectibles in the middle of this room. Heading slightly west of there, we'll get to our next scavenging location that has 2 pieces of scrap in it. It's this old, rusted out bus. You'll find the first piece out front in front of the middle doors, and the second piece just on board. Now we're heading to a place out west that's got some scrap, I think a scrap pallet and a history relic in it. As soon as you enter, you'll want to hug the right wall, and you'll find the first piece in this little hangar. And then in the tent opposite it, you'll find your history relic in the back.
Escaping reality.
And that scrap pallet right up front. Now the final piece of scrap, you'll look for a set of stairs to the right, and those will take you up on top where they'd have a sniper normally, and there's a lockbox waiting for you. That's the final piece of scrap in it. That's been the scavenging locations in the Wailing Wind. Thanks for watching.
Tell them to subscribe! Point somewhere for them to click, Birdie!